We often think wealth is built through luck, connections, or privilege. But in reality, true wealth begins with something far less visible: habits. Quiet habits, private routines, subtle decisions repeated daily. In this series, we uncover the habits that quietly separate the wealthy from everyone else, starting with the most powerful one of all: their mindset. Most people see money as something they earn and spend. They work, get paid, spend, repeat. But the wealthy think differently. To them, money is a tool, not a reward. A seed, not a prize. A servant, not a master. Where most people ask, "How much can I buy with this?" the wealthy ask, "How much can this grow?" This single shift, from consumption to multiplication, silently separates financial winners from lifelong strugglers. Mindset creates direction, but daily habits create outcomes. In this module, we step inside the quiet routines of the wealthy. For most, mornings begin in reaction mode. But among the wealthy, mornings are engineered. They wake with intention, designing the first hour to set the tone. Some meditate, some plan, some review goals, some exercise. Different routines, but a single principle: begin the day in control, not in chaos. Because they understand something subtle. Whoever controls their morning quietly controls their life. Wealthy people guard one resource above every other: time. Where most people say yes to everything, the wealthy say no, repeatedly, unapologetically, deliberately. They understand that every invitation, distraction, or pointless task steals energy from what truly creates progress. Time is not just minutes. Time is opportunity, leverage, and direction. They schedule their priorities, avoid unnecessary drama, minimize idle conversation, and choose deep work over constant activity. They don't try to do more in a day. They try to do what actually matters. Most people confuse activity with productivity, staying busy yet making little progress. The wealthy live differently, choosing focus over motion. Instead of doing 10 things with half attention, they do one meaningful thing with full intensity. They remove distractions, silence noise, and give tasks presence. Because in the real world, success does not belong to the busiest person. It belongs to the most focused person. Here is one of the greatest misunderstandings about success. Most people wait to feel motivated before they act. The wealthy do the opposite. They act with or without motivation, following routines even when tired, showing up when uninspired, and building when no reward is visible yet. Because they understand, motivation is temporary. Consistency is transformational. Tiny disciplined actions, repeated quietly, become monuments of achievement over time. Another quiet habit separates the wealthy. They protect their energy as carefully as their money. They distance themselves from constant complainers, emotional chaos, negativity-driven environments, and people who trade drama for attention, not out of arrogance, but out of self-preservation. They understand that creativity, clarity, and progress require mental stability and emotional discipline. Energy is not infinite, so they invest it where results grow. So what truly separates the wealthy in their daily lives? Not louder effort, but quieter discipline. Structured mornings, ruthless time control, focus over busyness, consistency over motivation, and protection of energy and environment. Habits that happen in silence, long before the results become visible to the world. In the next module, we go deeper, from daily routines to money habits. How the wealthy earn, spend, invest, and multiply resources. Module 3. The financial habits that build wealth silently. We often assume wealth is created through luck, sudden opportunity, or a single breakthrough moment. But for most wealthy people, fortune is not built in noise. It is built in quiet financial habits, choices made repeatedly, patiently, and deliberately over years. Most people earn money to spend immediately, to upgrade lifestyle today, not security tomorrow. But the wealthy live by a different financial rhythm. They delay consumption, not because they cannot afford luxury, but because they prioritize ownership before appearance. Where others chase status symbols, the wealthy chase assets, income-producing investments, not depreciating expenses. They upgrade slowly. They scale lifestyle after wealth grows, not before. Because they understand, wealth is not what you buy. Wealth is what you keep, and what keeps paying you. To most people, Money is emotional, a symbol of success, a badge of self-worth, something to display. To the wealthy, money is functional. It is a tool for leverage, a way to buy time, freedom, options, opportunities, future earnings. So instead of asking, "What can I buy with this?" they ask, "How can this money work for me?" They put money into businesses, skills, assets, networks, systems that multiply value over time. Because money that sits still slowly disappears. Money that works quietly multiplies. We often hear the phrase, "The wealthy have multiple streams of income." But what most people miss is how those streams are created. They are not random side hustles, not scattered experiments, not rushed attempts to get rich fast. The wealthy build one strong foundation, then expand outward strategically. First, one core skill, one profession, one business. Then, when stability exists, new income streams are added. Investments, partnerships, equity stakes, scalable projects. Each stream reinforces the other, rather than competing for attention. Wealth is not built by doing many things at once, but by doing the right things in the right sequence. Most people fear risk because they see only danger. The wealthy study risk because they see possibility. They ask, what is the downside? What is the probability of loss? What knowledge reduces the risk? What return justifies the risk? They don't gamble blindly. They calculate intelligently. They take educated risks, not emotional ones. And they learn something the average person never discovers. The greatest financial risk is staying where you are. Where most people think in days, weeks, or months, the wealthy think in years, decades, even generations. They invest today for outcomes they may not personally witness. They plant financial seeds whose fruit will be enjoyed by children and grandchildren. Their decisions are guided by one quiet question: how will this decision age over time? Because trends fade, impulses expire, but long-term assets endure. That is why wealth often appears sudden from the outside, even though it was being built quietly for years. So what truly separates wealthy people financially? Not luck, not noise, not showmanship, but habits practiced in silence. Delaying consumption, treating money as a tool, building income streams patiently, calculating risk instead of fearing it, thinking long-term, while others think short-term. Wealth is not the result of one big decision, but 1,000 quiet financial choices made correctly. In the next module, we explore the final layer: relationships, environments, and networks, the invisible ecosystems that shape opportunity, influence, and long-term success more than money itself. We often talk about money, work, strategy, and discipline when explaining wealth. But there is another layer, subtle, quiet, and powerful, rarely discussed openly. Wealth is not only about what a person does. It is also about who they surround themselves with, the rooms they enter, and the environments they choose to remain in. Most people stay in environments that feel comfortable, places where everyone thinks the same, earns the same, and expects the same outcome from life. But the wealthy do something different. They intentionally place themselves in environments that stretch them. They enter rooms where they are not the smartest, they are not the most successful, they are not the most experienced. Because in those rooms, they learn. Their conversations revolve around ideas, opportunities, investments, innovation, strategy. Not gossip, not comparison, not survival. They understand a simple truth. Your environment is not just where you live. It is who you become. Most people build relationships emotionally. Friendships based on proximity, entertainment, or familiarity. But the wealthy build relationships intentionally, rooted in value, trust, alignment, and shared ambition. Their network is not built overnight. It grows slowly through credibility, reliability, competence, reputation. They cultivate relationships with mentors and experienced minds, collaborators and creative thinkers, problem solvers and visionaries, people who execute, not just talk. Because they know, opportunities rarely come from strangers. They come from relationships nurtured over time. There is something else the wealthy do quietly, something that is often misunderstood. They protect their time, their attention, and their emotional energy. They step away from draining conversations, negative environments, conflict-filled circles, cycles of blame and complaint. Not out of pride, but out of discipline. They guard their mind because they know Focus compounds, distractions multiply losses, chaos weakens decision-making. They choose peace because clarity is a financial asset. In many communities, success breeds competition. Comparison creates jealousy. Progress is seen as threat. But in wealthy circles, success is shared. They collaborate. They exchange knowledge. They learn from one another's experiences. If one person discovers an opportunity, others benefit. If one person fails, others learn the lesson without repeating the mistake. Competition still exists, but it is healthy, rooted in growth, not envy. Because they understand, the success of one does not reduce the possibility of another. Instead, it expands what is possible. Most people plan for today, or at most, for themselves. But the wealthy think in generations. They ask, how will this decision affect my children? What knowledge must be passed forward? What foundation am I leaving behind? So they invest in education, legacy assets, businesses that outlive them, systems that continue working when they are gone. Wealth, to them, is not an event. It is an ecosystem that must survive beyond one lifetime. They build so others after them do not have to start from zero. So what quietly separates the wealthy from everyone else, beyond money? It is the environments they choose, the relationships they build, the energy they protect, the networks they nurture, and the generational lens through which they see life. Wealth does not exist in isolation. It grows in ecosystems, in rooms where ideas breathe, where ambition is normal, and where progress is expected, not feared. In the end, wealth is not only what you earn, it is the world you build around yourself.